Inflation, Build Back Better, and Omicron, those dominate the national conversation, but Iowans are also thinking about corn and beans. Now, sweet corn, that's easy. Butter, salt, no salt, but it is the other type of corn, plus the soybeans and those other Iowa-produced ingredients that have angered ag leaders and politicians. Here's why. Find out how they are hoping to change the president's mind when it comes to a retroactive change about fuel. Plus, protecting the next Goldie. Authorities were too late to save this starving, dehydrated pup that they found in a Wayne County puppy mill. Find out what Congresswoman Cindy Axne is hoping to do to better protect dogs. And social media, bullying, and the strains of COVID-19 isolation have all added up to increased troubles for Iowa's young people. Hear what one pediatrician's been seeing and what she says we need to do to help.
From your local election headquarters, this is The Insiders with Dave Price.
The country changed presidents, but for some in Iowa's agriculture and renewable fuels industries, that's just meant exchanging one trouble for another. Now, Republican President Donald Trump allowed far more of those waivers so that oil companies would not have to blend in as much biofuels. And Democratic President Joe Biden's trying to rewrite some of the rules from the past so he would reduce how much renewable fuel big oil must blend in, which Iowa producers say will end up hurting them in the future. Iowa Republicans and Democrats in Congress are not thrilled with Biden's latest proposal.
The previous administration did not support biofuels. I think that what we can see with an increase in blends for 2022 is a president who does support biofuels. And also, listen, I would tell folks, I'd love if we could come out winning 110% of the time, right? But we're also dealing with, big fossil fuel companies. We're dealing with past decisions that were made. And I believe what the president did was what he thought he could do in the best interest of Iowans is move things forward in the right direction for our state, at the same time really not trying to limit any hurt that we would have. What would have been way worse is to see something change for our future. This allows us to invest in our future while taking a little bit of a hit that I wish we weren't taking, but we'll try and overcome this.
Now, Republicans are phrasing it differently. Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley much more critical when he's talking about the president's administration's proposal here.
I think it's very, very detrimental to ethanol. Not the $15 billion plus $250 million that was announced for the year that we're in, but going back to the years 2020 and 2019 to review, we just don't know where we stand. So ethanol is up against something that they always are up against if they have to depend on government action to make a decision of how much ethanol has to be mixed with gasoline. The uncertainty hurts the industry. Now, right this very day, the industry is doing very well, producing massive amounts of ethanol, maybe record amounts. But this is going to really put a damper on what they see the future down the line.
Now, Iowa's biofuels leaders, they haven't given up here. Now, looking at next year for 2022, this proposal does increase the demand for renewables, so they like that part. And so far, when they're looking at 20 and 21, it would reduce the renewable fuels obligations here, but it is only a proposal at this point. So maybe they can use the next 3 to 6 months to try to change some minds.
Overall, we were disappointed, right? Now, there was some good stuff in it. I'm not going to say there wasn't. But by and large, they took steps they shouldn't have to cut renewable fuels use going forward at a time when, why on earth would we be cutting renewable fuels use when we're going on bended knee to OPEC and releasing strategic petroleum reserves to try to expand fuel supplies, right? We have low-cost domestic renewable fuels, clean-burning renewable fuels right here. Let's maximize those. Let's not cut those.
Part of this that gets confusing, I think, is some of this is retroactive.
Yes.
Now, granted, this is all tentative. We'll see what the final numbers are here, but how and why? Why does this go backwards? Why is there a chunk of this that's backwards?
Yeah, and you might think, well, why do you care what happened in 2020 or 2021? They're basically over. Only the 2022 numbers should matter, and the renewable fuel standard levels they proposed for 2022 are actually good. That's one of the good parts. But the way the compliance works with this law, it's not just year by year by year in a silo. You get credits for blending biofuels, and those credits can live on if you don't need them for compliance, say in 2020. So when they cut 1.7 billion gallons of required biofuel blending in 2021, or at least proposed to cut that with this rule, that is 1.7 billion of those credits that instead of being expired and retired, live on and can be used in the future in lieu of actual physical gallons. So the cuts we saw to 2020 and to 2021 would create 3.5 billion RFS gallons credits that could be used in the future in place of 3.5 billion actual physical gallons that we produce. That's why it's so devastating.
Now, one of the positives with this is that this would, for your industry, would be, it looks like it will reduce the number of waivers overall, right?
Going forward, yes. So, it's kind of fun. I've had this discussion with our members is, the Trump administration made a big deal about saying, hey, we're going to set it at those statutory levels that Congress had in there, that 15 billion gallons that people talk about. But then they did these waivers out the back door, so you never actually had a 15 billion gallon program. Then the Biden administration comes in and says, oh, Trump was abusing those waivers, and he was. They're absolutely right about that. So we're not going to do that anymore. But then they lower the 15 up front to 12.5 or 13.3, and you kind of end up in the same spot. So whether you lower the front end or let it out the back end, stop. 15 is supposed to be 15.
All right, so going forward here, how are you looking at the higher levels for the future?
Well, that is the good news, right? 2020 was kind of really ugly. 2021 proposal is bad. We will work on those during the comment period to try to convince them to raise them back up. In 2022, they do propose the full 15 billion gallons. That gets us back on track. The problem is it's a full 15 billion gallons, but with these 3.5 billion RFS credits still living out there that can be used in the future. So, it doesn't mean that we're actually going to blend 15 billion gallons because they'll get to use these credits from before unless we can get those numbers back up. So we're excited about that part and not having the exemptions go out the back door, but, it's a mixed bag.
All right, so on the simplest level here, did the COVID wild card that came up beginning in 20 there, decreasing our overall demand, our overall consumption, is that what's throwing everything? Can it be that basic, or is it only one of several factors?
Well, first of all, that would not have affected 2021 at all, right? So why would you reduce 2021 by 1.7 billion gallons if you were going to blame COVID? They do cite COVID, but the funny thing is, and I know you said easy, but the RFS is a self-correcting mechanism. That 15 billion gallons is converted into a percentage for an obligated party, a refiner. And so if their anticipated production is lower than what was expected, that percentage then is taken times that lower number. So the 2020 rule that was finalized, that they're proposing to reopen and lower, it was finalized at 15 billion gallons. But because the actual gasoline demand in 2020 was lower due to COVID, the actual RFS was lowered to about 13.5. So it self-corrected without reopening it. Now they want to reopen it and not just lower it to 13.5, which is what it should have been, but lower it to 12.5. So that's another billion gallons of demand destruction, because those credits will then live and be used in the future instead of gallons.
Is demand back up where it was pre-COVID?
It is right now. Not all year, but really in the last 3 months, we've seen gasoline demand higher in 2021 than at the same time in 2019. So it's really right now, fuel demand is going well. The plants are running well, and we just want to see that go in the future. But if we're going to ultimately grow in a meaningful way, we've got to get to higher blends. And that's what the renewable fuel standard was supposed to be about. Not just E10, probably 95% of all gas sold in the United States of America is blended with 10% ethanol. So we've really got to get to that higher blend. And when the RFS credits, when you have a high RFS level, that provides the incentive for refiners, gas stations, whatever, to offer those higher blends to generate the additional credits that they need. And so when you cut this, you're cutting our ability to crack from E10 to E15 and on up.
You've had this job for a while now. You've been in the business for a while.
I used to have more hair and it used to be darker.
It was probably easier. How do you, from your position, how do you look ahead at administrative change? Because you've now been on the job long enough where you can see all these different combinations, right? About whether it's an R or a D who's the president, which party's in control of the chambers of Congress. And you've had most, if not all, the combinations
I think so.
now here, right? Republicans had it all when Trump first started, you know, then things started to change, and then Democrats mostly have it all here if you count the tie in the Senate. So how do you try to think one step ahead about, all right, this is where they're probably going to go, here's how we need to prepare, here's how we need to lobby, here's how we need to get the message out. How do you get into that?
It's, you know, it's interesting because, you know, I have, you know, been doing this for 20 some years now, but one of the awesome things about working for renewable fuels and farmers is that we have strong champions on both sides of the aisle. One of the challenges about working for renewable fuels and farmers is we have detractors on both sides of the aisle. It's really more geographic based or kind of like personal interest based than it is a partisan issue. So it doesn't matter, you know, when Trump was in there, you know, you have Senator Ernst and Senator Grassley and Governor Reynolds just, you know, fighting hard for us, but you also have Ted Cruz and you know, John Barrasso and people like that. Well, on the Democrat side, you have strong supporters, you know, like, you know, Cindy Axne here from our delegation and the senators from Minnesota and Illinois are great, but you have some people on the coast who all they want is batteries, right? They don't even care if the and I don't understand this. They don't care if the battery is charged by coal, which is dirtier than ethanol. They'd rather have a battery charged by coal than a flexible fuel vehicle running on 85% ethanol blends, which blows my mind. But that's the challenge we face right now. So as we look ahead, we do emphasize different things. There's a lot of reasons you can like renewable fuels. They're cheaper, they're domestic, they help farmers, so they create jobs in America, energy security, they reduce tailpipe emissions like cancer-causing tailpipe emissions, in addition to reducing the carbon emissions. There's kind of two sets there. Some people may like them for one or two of those reasons, but not the others, or vice versa. So right now, we do talk an awful lot about the carbon benefits of biofuels when we're dealing with our DC issues, whereas when Trump was in there, it was probably a little bit more talking about the jobs and the domestic security. But the nice thing about renewable fuels is they legitimately check all of those boxes. So we just have to kind of emphasize what our audience is looking for.
Have you all taken a stance on those carbon pipelines that would pump that stuff out of here?
So we're not going to take a stance on a specific pipeline project as a trade association, but carbon sequestration is absolutely the game changer if you want to get to a net carbon negative ethanol.
Up next, puppy mills, a plan to try to better protect the animals.